All right, y'all, it is time. It is time to start our live stream. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Time-ish, and we've got a hell of a lot of stuff to talk about. It's Black Friday. I hope you got all the shopping goodies you intended. You scored some deals. You put some stuff on layaway to secure those little packages for all those that you love. And we've got one more to add to the mix. This live stream has been constructed of the finest quality goods for you to consume. I know I'm being a little energetic, but I just finished a coffee to prepare. All right, guys, listen, we're going to have a great time. We've got everything. The White House is pivoting back. We've got a few other variety smorgasbord items we're going to walk through. It can't be done properly without your engagement, so make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and of course, as always, the comments, the subscribes, the chats, the emojis make the world go round and circumvent the notification system, which accidentally breaks every single time we go live. So, if you were down for the fight, I'd love to have you be a part of this. All right, we've got audio, we've got video. We are awesome. We are good. We are about to have some fun. Each and every one of you, thank you so much for being here. All right. Listen, we're going to talk about a few things in this episode. As everyone filters in, make sure you're sending this out and spreading this out, getting engaged in the comments and the chats. But we're going to do about like kind of a two-part live stream here. There's one part which is kind of like a variety topic point. And we're going to cover a few of these variety topics that are really important to, I think, the common conversations that we need to have in the nation around saving it and bringing us back to center. That's important. And then the other one, which is all about the title and the thumbnail. Because the White House, I don't know if you noticed, just pivoted. They're pivoting back to something that they were doing originally when they were really, really popular. They're pivoting back to it. And I'm going to show all of it to you right now. So guys, if you're enjoying the comments or content, let me hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. We have 700 people. Let's get going. Thank you guys for your attendance. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do, as always, we always start off with a little bit of a appetizer to wet your whistle for this content analysis like you will find nowhere else upon the internet. Oh man, I'm full of it tonight. All right, we're good though. Watch this. This is Jillian Michaels, and she says something that is a warning, and I want to hit it because I've said something similar. Listen to this, and we're going to break it down. As you get in here, welcome to the party.
But Tucker, we've all seen him go after guys like Ted Cruz, and he did nothing. No pushback. And when you see Jordan Peterson warn about the woke right, and then you see guys like Dave Rubin and guys like Brandon Tatum and women like Chicks on the Right start to say, like, hey, guys, you cannot mainstream this. This cannot be normalized. I'm now coming out to say the purple people will not have this. And you are handing this win to the left, and the left are going to be the squad. As crazy radical as it gets on the left, they're taking over that party. You are going to hand them the country if you continue.
Okay. This is a really important culmination of multiple topics that we've hit. That's why I'm opening up with this one, because you guys deserve the very best, and that's what I try to provide to you. So, she's talking about a culmination of two different points. The first point is the rise of the woke right. It's actually not the woke right. What it actually is, in my opinion, is a nationalistic control system, command and control system, kind of a blend of nationalism, and then it's also a little bit of cynicism, skepticism. It's a really nasty mix of a lot of things, but it's leading to infighting. But here's the thing that I want to bring out to the table on this. See, on the right side of the spectrum, whether you're conservative, MAGA, Republican, independent leaning, whatever you consider your bucket, Tea Party, whatever, we actually are adjusting and dealing with the issue. We're not sweeping it under the rug and ignoring it because our lust for power is so great that we'll embrace all the crazy in order to get that power, i.e. the progressive wing, which is now cannibalizing the Democrat Party, which is what you said. That's the second point. There's the rise of a nationalistic, identitarian segment of the population, which in my opinion isn't right-oriented at all. It's actually a completely different thing because it has a lot more to do with uniformity and socialism and collectivism than it actually does individual liberty, which we'll get into it as we go forward. But then there's also the taking over of the left, the far left woke progressives. They are taking over the Democrat Party. If we don't stop the infighting and we don't deal with this quickly, we're going to hand them something that they don't deserve, and that's power. Because the purple people, as Jillian Michaels says, they are not going to handle it very well, because that's why they fled the left. It's a very, very good warning. All right, let's let her finish here.
this, I promise you, in 28, hands down. And that's my warning. And it's like, you could care, whether or not I belong to the right or I don't belong to the right. That is my warning. This behavior, you will lose doing this. But
I don't care if she claims to be on the right or she's adopted to the right or the left or the independent. I don't care. Honest to God, she has a point. And for the people in the comments over here, the purple people are independents. They are the people in the middle who are tired of the crazy. Honest to God, they shun away from crazy. That's what they do. They're just like, for the love of God, can y'all both sit down? Candidly. But that's what she's saying. And I think it's a very, very good warning. All the personalities, all the commentators, all the fighting on the right, you either need to knock it off or you need to wrap it up real quick. That's my warning on it, because I agree with Jillian Michaels. She's a very astute point there. But let's keep on going, because we have something else to discuss. Again, this little first part's the variety show, so we're going to get to the meat and potatoes here in a second, because something is really happening, and it's amazing, and I hope it continues. All right, so this one is coming out of something in Tennessee. Now, I'm going to do a full-on dedicated video of this at some point in the next couple of days, but I wanted to touch this and introduce the topic. There's a Trump segment that's not the right word. There's a Trump district, there we go, that is heavily plus 22 Trump, that is uncomfortably close according to polling, and the left is running with this, saying that Trump is dead, Democrats are winning, and Republicans are dead, and it's over, finito, finale, done, whatever. The woman is a crackpot. Okay, shocker, I know. But this is the whole point. I'm going to touch on this in a second. Trump endorsed Matt Van Epps has an 85% chance to win the open Tennessee's 7th congressional district seat on Tuesday, according to Polymarket. Polls have shown this race too close for comfort. The district is a Trump plus 22. We cannot allow this psycho leftist Afghan Bain to win, who literally wants to abolish the police and has stalked ICE agents, and she's pretty much invaded and been removed forcibly from Governor Bill Lee's office as well. Surge to the polls on election day. More than enough Republicans live in this district to make it an easy win. So, this is the part where I've got to be objective with y'all. This should be a slam dunk, 100%. This guy should win. It should not even be close, because this lady be crazy. But he's still most likely going to win, but that's not where the problem lies. The problem lies, this is a plus 22 Trump district. If the vote does not get mobilized on the right side, but the left is mobilized because it's a midterm election and there's a lot of I hate Trump syndrome going on, then they're going to get that closer than plus 22, and they're going to go, see, there's a blue wave coming. It's rising in the nation. This is a plus 22 district, and we only lost by 8 points. That's what they're going to say. Now, this is a warning shot to the Republicans across the board. If this gets this close, you need to course correct something. Not saying abandon your principles or not saying abandon anything you care about, but you need to course correct something. Whether it's motivating, whether it's getting people out, whether it's following J.D. Vance with the why and getting people actually passionate about following something that you have put forward. But you need to do something if that turns out. Now, if it's like a plus 22, plus 23 Trump district and Republican win, cool, good talk. It's not going to be. But the point is, you got to be objective. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat something to you. He hasn't lost. He's probably not going to lose, but the fact that it's close is cause to have a conversation. So I'll always bring you the facts as I see them. Let's keep on going. Come on, X. I believe in you. All right, this one's wild. So I need to hear you guys in the comments on this one, because this is Russell Brand. And if you are not familiar with Russell Brand, he's a very eccentric personality, very big following on his podcast, on his YouTube channel. He got a taste of the far left progressivism control mechanism in the power structures of the world, and he completely ran away from it, doesn't like it, and he's very, very vocal about it. But what I want to show you is a little segment that he came out with about how it's about control. And I think this will resonate with you guys. Again, we're only in the variety show part of this episode. We're going to get into it in 2 tabs. But let me hear you on this one in the comments, guys. Chats, emojis. It makes the world go round. I love the engagement. Let's get it. Watch this. Russell Brand.
Particularly if it fits within the milieu that I've come to recognise as defining our times: control masked as care, convenience to elicit yet further control. That the bureaucracies of our age indeed mask, and perhaps are the essence of yet, the tyranny of our age. I suppose we still have the hangover of the last century. When I think of despotism and dictators and tyranny and totalitarianism, I think of mustachioed dictators and shiny jackboots and red, white and black flags and Nuremberg and parades and Sturm and Drang. But now totalitarianism comes masked in bureaucracy. Control comes insidiously like a gentle fog under your door, like a...
Okay, we're going to get back to this because he has a way with words. But the underlying principle here is tyranny doesn't look the same way that it used to. It looks like a bartender, everyday woman from New York fighting the power structure and becoming a member of Congress and the youngest Gen Z ever be elected, who formed a social media campaign, which then followed up with a progressive wing, which then followed up with the squad, which then followed up with Bernie Sanders and an entire wing that's going to take over the Democrat Party through a metastasized cancer that is progressivism. This is the point. Everything that you guys care about, and this is a really important piece. We're probably going to go big screen on it. Yeah, we are. Everything that y'all care about, everything that we care about, everything that is important to us and how we save the country is being undermined by a bureaucratic morass that puts itself over the will of the people. If you want to know why everyone is so pissed at the system and Congress has 11% approval rating and no one trusts the politician as far as they can throw them and we keep on having this ping pong effect, it's because the bureaucracy is trying to replace the will of the people with its own will. The system is the bureaucracy. When people say the deep state, that is that bureaucracy. It's the same one that leaves the borders open. It's the same one that has issues with all the Fauci ouchies. It has the same issue with money control or supply and control of the money. Good Lord. Control the money supply. It has the wars. It has all of it. The woke left, agenda, all the DEI, everything. That's the bureaucracy. That's what he's talking about. The totalitarian state is what he's talking about in the bureaucracy. And when you're looking at exactly what he's talking about, you get a line from The Patriot. And if you've ever seen the movie, I'd rather have one tyrant, what's the difference between having one tyrant 3,000 miles away and 3,000 tyrants 1 mile away? That's a very important point to what he's going into. And it creeps under your door like a subtle fog. I love that line. Let's get back to it.
Warning, we're here to help you. And I suppose I'm alert to that because as a person in recovery from addiction, we of course have to learn about the obvious forms of dependency like drug, alcohol, and then even things like pornography and gambling. But one gets a sense that at the root, or at least more deep than the items I've just listed, is codependency, where relationships become dependent. Now, I believe, of course, as a Christian, that you can only depend on Christ, but the state wants you to depend on the state. And by the state, I mean, the nexus of interest that include global bureaucracies, national governments, corporate and commercial interests. They've become masterful at controlling and centralizing information, and the movement of which you are obviously a significant part was a significant breach in their ability to control data. And I think we are now witnessing the reformation of their power. How do they delegitimize information? How do they smear and destroy people that convey true information? And once you know that all they care about is control, because once you have control, you can do what you want.
Right.
You can profit financially or you can regulate. Then
You guys get the idea. It's about bureaucratic control. Because once you have control, you're now needed to control the monster you've created. You can't solve the problems that you're sent up there to Congress to solve because then you wouldn't be needed. Again, it's necessity of failure. If you fail and fail and fail, you consistently create demand for yourself to solve the problem. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making it up. Maybe I'm off in La La Land, or maybe I'm over the target. Let me see the planes, the comments, the chats, everything over here. Let's get back into it. All right. Now, we have got one more thing of this Friday show before we go into the main pivot point. We take the wheel and we just go right back into the fun fight. This one was a touch and follow up on this guy that killed shot these two National Guard officers or National Guard members in D.C. on Wednesday. Did you guys know that he was part of a CIA hit squad that was known to be brutal and they were following around as death squads? Yeah, we should import more of that. Okay. All right, watch. This is a report on Fox News.
To show you, he was part of this CIA-backed elite Afghan unit, and this right now shows some details where they operated in Afghanistan, but also the vetting process. Supposedly, they went through biometric screenings, in-person interviews, which is very interesting. And Lochinwall's connection here, he was assigned to this O3 unit, recruited and trained by the CIA to fight against the Taliban. This group, also, Rebecca, known for their brutality and called death squads. So you take that last point there that I just said, right? That they're known as these death squads, quite brutal. And that this man also went through a one-on-one interviews, so we understand. What's your takeaway there?
Okay, I don't need her takeaway. No offense. I'll provide my own takeaway. So we're now at a point where we're finding out that the CIA not only worked with this guy, he was also a member of a rolling group that was known as a death squad, and it was particularly known to be particularly brutal. And then we imported them? Does that seem like a good idea? With no vetting other than the original CIA interview 11 years before he was brought into this country, and then, according to other reporting, he was actually put in front of other Americans to get all these benefits because he was brought in as an asylum claimant. Does that jive on any level of common sense? Death squads. Okay, great. Freaking mind-boggling. All right, now you beautiful bastions of freedom. We're about to talk about the main point, the reason of which you got drawn in with the thumbnail, the exquisite piece of artwork that I crafted myself with the title to supplement the message. This is the whole thing. There's been a pivot. I'm telling you, I follow this like my sports. Or excuse me, this is my sports. One of the things, and I'm going to set this out ahead of schedule so I can reinforce this as we move forward. Let me hear you in the comments, chats, and emojis if I'm over the target, if I'm landing the plane, all those things. I want to hear your thoughts on this. One of the things that was very remarkable in the early Trump administration, this one, 2.0, was the way that he was able to keep the media and the Democrats through the White House and through the constant movement and changing of the topics and basically flooding the zone. They couldn't set up camp to offer a solid footing of resistance, okay? And what I mean by that is take a look at the first 6 months of the Trump administration. He and they went so fast that the Democrats and their apparatus in the X or in the social sphere or the media, they could not do a normal 24 to 72 hour full-on soak propaganda mission on the topic, because by the time they got everything spun out, like the talking points, the memos, and everything was distributed to all the talking heads, it had already changed. It was no longer a relevant topic because Trump had done something else. The speed of which it was happening was their enemy. They could not get bogged down in it because Trump was moving so fast, okay? Now look at the Epstein saga that we just went through for the last 2-3 months, 4 months. Because of the bogging down nature of that, it was all Epstein all the time, 24/7, nonstop, Epstein, nonstop, Epstein. It was full-on propaganda soak because it got bogged down. There was no way to move around. It's like the Blitzkrieg. If the Blitzkrieg stopped, it was done. The entire point was movement, okay? Now, watch this. Let's get back into this. Make sure my audio is still good. Good. Now, this is Rich Barris. This is an account that is typically pretty hostile towards the Republican move in the White House recently. But anyway, let's get into this. Now, there is the real Donald Trump who won the popular vote and made the most historic political comeback ever. This is what he posted today, and this is what he's referencing. I'll put it big screen for you guys. Donald J. Trump. Any document signed by Sleepy Joe Biden with the autopin, which was approximately 92% of them, that's an interesting percentage, you knew that exactly, is hereby terminated and of no further force or effect. The autopin is not allowed to be used if approval is not specifically given by the President of the United States. The radical left lunatics circling Biden around the beautiful Resolute desk in the Oval Office took the presidency away from him, which would mean they took the presidency away from you, the American citizen. Keep track at home. I am hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden because the people who operated the autopin did so illegally. Joe Biden was not involved in the autopin process, and if he says he was, he will be brought up on charges of perjury. Thank you for the attention to this matter. Now, why is this so crucially important? Because this feeds into what everyone wants in the nation. Stop everyone being crazy. Stop the absolute and obvious abuses of the system. Stop the two-tier justice system and have some accountability and consequences for breaking the law. They lied to us for years upon years upon years that Biden is the most cogent president that's ever. He's sharp. He's on his toes. He's up every morning at 4. He's doing his workout. He's lifting. He's doing runs. He's doing jogs. He goes to sleep at 2 a.m. He's amazing. He can't speak a sandwich. He can't speak a sandwich. He probably couldn't speak a sandwich. He can't speak a lick of any common sense words. He can't do any type of debate performance. He can't even look at the camera without looking like an old geriatric dementia patient. But yeah, okay. And there's a reason that they were rejected for lying straight to the American people's faces. This is something that they're dropping. If you broke the law and you made these executive orders and they were illegal, they're going to be rescinded. I guarantee you that will be responded. That will be responded to in a positive manner. But let's continue. This is more to the same point. I want to show you a few more pieces. This one, of course, is coming from the White House. Everything that I just read, I am hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden because the people who operated the autopin did so illegally. And there's multiple hours of testimony and pleading the fifth that did just that. Okay, so that was the first one. Again, watch, you're going to see the pattern. There, autopin terminated. Here's the next one. He dropped this today. This is what the White House is doing. They are going back to the 1.0 plan. Watch.
Over the next couple of years, I think we'll substantially be cutting, and maybe cutting out completely, but we'll be cutting income tax. Could be almost completely cutting it because the money we're taking in is going to be so large. And yet, other countries who have been ripping us off for many, many years, and many years they've just been ripping us to shreds.
Okay. Income tax? Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you. I can't tell you if that's going to happen. I'm not upset if it did. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys in the comments over there would be pretty pleased if it did as well. I mean, I live in the great state of Florida where I don't have any income tax. I mean, it's pretty glorious. But, I mean, there's a few states. Texas doesn't, Tennessee doesn't, Florida doesn't. I think there's one or two. I think Nevada doesn't. There's a couple that don't. But genuinely, that's an interesting topic that's going to get them all spun up. So if you're keeping track at home, just alone today, Biden's autopin canceled. That dropped. Income tax possibly getting cut to 0. That drops. You've got this one right here, James Comer coming out as the leader of the Oversight Committee, the chairman on the House GOP Oversight. I applaud President Trump for deeming President Biden's autopin actions null and void. The House Oversight Committee recently exposed how the Biden autopin presidency is one of the biggest political scandals in U.S. history. You see what's happening? Autopin canceled. Drop income tax. A Republican Oversight Committee. Drop autopin signatures. All of this is happening, and they cannot keep up. Here's more of it. President Trump just declared any document signed by Joe Biden's autopin, which includes 92% of documents bearing Biden's signature, are hereby terminated. Something big is coming. This includes executive orders and could also include commissions for DEI judges, among other things. Here we go. Now, I can't vouch for that last part, but again, the 92% of these executive orders, if they were done without Biden's knowledge, and he was not aware of them, because let's face it, then those would be illegal orders because some other people who weren't the president were initiating the orders and applying his autopin signature to them because they were acting in proxy for the president. That's illegal. You can't do that, especially when the executive orders hold the force of law and the executive orders and the executive actions, which there is a difference, by the way, all of those things against things like the Second Amendment and our rights and the border and the funding and all of the different pieces that they went down in this far woke left psychopathic agenda, that's going to be a bit of an issue. Accountability, two-tier justice system, someone's finally doing something. That is why you're seeing the pivot go right back to 1.0, because when 1.0 dropped, when Trump and his administration was first in the office this year, they could not keep up with them. It looks like they're starting to do the same thing. And I'll be honest with you, it is the way. Here's some more Fox News reporting on it. Democrats are in full panic mode now that 92% of Biden orders and documents are null and void due to illegal autopin signature. All right. Trump is moving full speed ahead ever since the terror attack. Biden facing perjury charges if he comes out and contradicts himself and claims he was involved in the autopin process. So that whole last part there, and I'm going to play this clip in a second, but that last whole part there is all about laying a bear trap and saying, hey, Biden, if you say these were all signed by your own hand, then you're going to be lying under oath. Good luck. That's where they're going, right? But again, the left is melting down. They're losing their minds. Watch this.
I'm going to read you exactly what he posted. He said, quote, any document signed by Sleepy Joe Biden with the autopen, which was approximately 92% of them, is hereby terminated and of no further force or effect. He says the autopen is not allowed to be used if approval is not specifically given by the President of the United States. He also says in that post, quote, I am hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden because the people who operated the autopen did so illegally. He goes on to say in that post, Joe Biden was not involved in the autopen process, and if he says he was, he'll be brought up on charges of perjury. He says, thank you for your attention to this matter. Of course, this was just posted moments ago to Truth Social. Again, the president, as we know, following him is at the golf course. So, of course, we're hoping to confirm and get any more information about this. Alicia.
Dana Marie McNichol.
Here's the thing. And this is the beautiful part about this. And then I got one more thing I'm going to show you on the same topic. I believe it might be, it might not be. We'll see. We're at 26 minutes. I might wrap it on it. We'll see. We'll see where this goes right here. This is the point. The left is already melting down. I will have a collection of clips about them melting down for your consumption, of course, because there's nothing as delicious in this world as the lefties freaking out when they come out of their mom's basement on the internet. But genuinely, what you're talking about is action and action and action, which is going to cause the left to try to focus on it, and they're going to be pivoting constantly. So in the last 24 hours, you've had the pivot from Donald Trump is absolutely evil. It's his fault that Washington, D.C. shooters killed him and all that. It's not Biden's fault. Then that shifted to the autopin signatures weren't going to be a thing. Then it shifted to Ilhan Omar and the Somalians. That's the other one I didn't put in there because YouTube. And now it's pivoting back to the income tax, and now it's back to this piece of the whole autopin thing. They can't keep up. And if the White House keeps on doing this, they won't get bogged down in the morass that the Democrats require to operate. Because think about every single thing that the Democrats have ever done to Donald Trump, to Republicans, and the way that they just monopolize the media. It all focuses around a long-term distillation of the exact same points, talking about it 8 ways to different ways through Sunday, talks about it in, out, upside down, around, talks about the hypotheticals, the conjecture, all of it about the exact same point until a new one comes around and they literally just copy and paste and put it right there. If you take away the morass and the digestion period of this, they don't have anything to operate because they can't get their propaganda machine spun up. It takes 24 to 48 hours for them to do it effectively. Trump is moving at one thing every 12 hours. They cannot keep up, and it overwhelms the leftist system. It's really, really fun to see, candidly. But, listen, I think that's what I've got for you guys tonight. We've done a lot of good work. I hope I landed this plane. Let me know what you guys think in the comments right over here. I really I enjoy our time together every night, and I will see you guys on the next one. I love each and every one of you just the right amount that makes you feel comfortable. I'm Braden. See you later.